Alright, so today we've got another interesting race matchup. Now, normally we try to do stock cars as much as possible because there are a lot less variables involved which can affect the outcome. And if you're trying to shop the cars, it usually lets people make a better decision with less outside factors. Plus, not every single car is going to respond the same to a certain brand's tune, intake, downpipe, whatever. So what that means is one company's Phase 2 setup might perform slightly different than another company's Stage 2 setup. Yeah, I'm looking at you guys, 124 crowd. But I'm sure this applies to every other car platform as well. Anyway, in this episode, I'm going to put two commonly modified sports cars against each other to see how it plays out. I'm talking about none other than the widely popular, amazing bang for the buck, made in America Hellcat Challenger, as well as the relatively affordable race-inspired British-made McLaren 570S. And of course, we'll be doing a half-mile drag race down our lovely little airstrip. Best out of 3 runs takes the cake. And this time around, we're going to do them all from a roll because I don't think the Hellcat's going to stand a chance from a dig, even if it wasn't packing so much power. Speaking of power, let's take a look at who we got today. First up is the SRT Hellcat Challenger, in my favorite color, Destroyer Gray. This is a 707 horsepower supercharged monster in bone stock form, or 717 if you buy 2019 and newer. But like I said, we're talking about modified stuff today, so this car is essentially full bolt-on and then some. In our case, that means pulley, intake, exhaust, tune, plus bigger injectors and meth. All in, we're told that it makes roughly 1,000 to the crank. That means it's one of the most powerful cars to come on the channel so far. But here's the problem, Hellcats are heavy as balls, so at a little over 4,400 pounds, we're looking at a power to weight of 4.4 to 1. Still, that's nothing to sleep on. On the other side of the ring is the slightly classier McLaren 570S Spider. It's the most affordable McLaren that you can buy, and frankly, it's probably one of the best bangs for buck in terms of entry-level supercars. Stock, it only makes 562 brake horsepower with the 3.8-liter twin-turbo V8, but at 3,300 pounds, it's over half a ton lighter than the Hellcat. Now, the beautiful thing about turbos is that a tune and downpipe does wonders, and in this case, it adds over 200 horsepower. That puts the power to weight at a very competitive 4.36, so on paper, this could be a pretty close one. Anyway, let's get this party started. But of course, we'll need to do a burnout in the Hellcat, just to get those nettles in the back warmed up. I don't know about you, but I think those were some pretty good runs. And that last one, the McLaren had the top down for giggles since he had already won the first 2 out of 3 races. Anyway, we already know how easy it is to make big power with the Hellcat platform, but I wasn't really sure that the lighter 570S would be able to pull on it on the top. Then again, I think the McLaren just dead hooked with no spin at all. So that's already a pretty big advantage right there. I'm actually more surprised that the Hellcat didn't cause any traction problems. I mean, doing a second gear hit at 45 miles per hour with 1,000 horsepower is going to be a little bit dramatic, especially since it wasn't exactly a warm day out, and he's running close to stock tire width on the tires. But yeah, it's got to be a combination of the aero and the turbos probably have a little bit more punch in the top than a supercharger, but in my experience, Hellcats also have a lot of top end. Maybe the gearing advantage of the McLaren? I don't know. But let's take a look at the V-Box data to see what we got. So here are the 60 to 130 times for all 3 runs with these cars. Not bad. On paper it was pretty close too, so they're basically mid to high 6-second cars in this range. And theoretically it comes down to driver reaction time, but let's take a look at what happens if we expand this range out to something like 50 to 150. This is where aero and gearing plays a much bigger role, and you can see that in the last run with the top down, it obviously hindered the times in the McLaren. Nonetheless, like I said, I think there were some pretty solid runs and both cars performed great. The Hellcat is easily half the cost of the McLaren, maybe even closer to a third, but it was able to keep up with the thing in a straight line, so not too shabby. Of course, someone down there in the comments is going to say, well, take a corner of the Hellcat and see what happens. Yada, yada, yada. I know, we get it. The doors go up on the McLaren too. Either way, they're both cool cars in my book, but what do you guys think? Spend the extra coin for the McLaren or save it and get almost as good straight line performance out of the Hellcat? Let me know in the comments below. Well, that's it for this one, and as always, I'll catch you guys next time. Hey guys, if you like this video, help a brother out by giving it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or if I said something weird, let me know in the comments below. You can also support the channel by sharing our stuff or maybe shop in the merch store. And if this is your first time here, don't forget to check out some of my other stuff. I produce all sorts of cool cinematic car content, so if that's your jam, hit that subscribe button and ring that bell icon for new episodes every week. Thanks for watching.